Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray. I'm standing up and I feel very uncomfortable. The chair is low on the ground, but I'll try to do it as we can here as we talk for Outdoors. Whoa, down for the next 90 minutes. Packed house in here. A lot of guests in here this morning. You know it's the third Saturday. They almost dressed alike. You know, they look a matching pair here. They did. Yeah. Way to go. Way to go. Frank Barton.
Well, we called each other.
And John
earlier,
Gordon.
So
yeah.
Little matching
the duel
stuff.
of the segment segues. And so here you come with checkered shirts on, khaki pants. I'm not going any further than that. Okay? All right. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, everyone.
All right. We have special guests in the studio, so we have to act right if that's if that's possible on this show. But we do have a special guest, and he brought a special guest. And, of course, we have a special producer, that Shelby, that takes care of us. And we're operating on limited chair limits here. Mine's on the floor. Y'all look pretty nice way up high like that, you know. Well, we have our good friend Johnny McFarland over there. Johnny, good morning.
Good morning, Larry. You doing all right?
I am doing great, Johnny. And
I'm happy to be here.
Don't know. I can't tell you how much it is to see you, Johnny Mac. Because I know when we're going to talk with Johnny Mac. What are we going to talk about, Johnny?
Well, we got some. You know, I'm going to be here when we got something good coming up.
You do.
Yes, sir. And we got something good coming up with Quail Forever.
And you folks know that when we have Johnny Mac in there, we're going to talk about Quail Forever, the Mid-South chapter, and the big event is coming up in just a week from today, August the 26th. Out at the Memphis Sports Shooting Association, but we're going to hold Johnny just for a little while here as we talk to Frank and John, because it's good to have them. And you have a guest over there, Johnny Mac. Who's
yes,
that?
Sir. That is my good friend David Waldrop. He gave me a ride this morning, and David used to be an air gun coach.
And not only air gun coach, David brought up something that got a commercial appeal connection there. Tell me that again, David. Our listeners, they want to know their stories here, you know.
Larry, years ago,
that's for sure.
Asked about favorite fishing spots, and I wrote you at the commercial appeal and said, well, mine is Bear Creek Lake over in Arkansas.
Yes, yeah.
Really because my in-laws live there in Marietta. And you sent me a wonderful commercial appeal umbrella, big, long golf
Those are
umbrella.
great things.
They were great. And my wife, who was a third-grade teacher at Dogwood Elementary, liked it so much that she borrowed that for the 4 or 5 years and wore it out when she did car duty with the kids at Dogwood. So
well,
thank
there
you again.
go. My years at the commercial appeal, it really reminds me, David and John and Frank, I stopped by this week at Avery. And it brought back great memories. I pull up at the tracks there on Broad, you know, and the train thing. I catch a train. It never fails when I go to Avery. A train comes through. Well, the guy behind me didn't catch the train because he drove around me and went through the cross things in front of the train and sped off. Not to Avery, I'm glad, but I was saying I'm going to see this guy pushed all the way to Scott Street, and I'm sitting right here. But it was so good to be back at Avery, where you spent how many years at Avery?
11 years at
11
Avery.
years.
I tell you what's crazy is how that area has developed since I started in 2007. All brand new apartments, businesses,
school
houses,
football field
everything.
out there and everything. But then you step back and you see Avery, and it's part of the, you know, I was one of the first ones that wrote about it and had a good visit with David Carrington, which Frank, you know David Carrington, of course.
Quite well.
Yes, and he was in there, and so was Alan Hughes. So I had a chance to talk old times and have my picture made with them, and they couldn't believe I was 80. Well, I couldn't believe they were 75. No, they weren't either. No.
I think Carrington's pushing 75, isn't he?
He's pushing.
No?
He's just pushing. I'm not going to go anywhere with that, but when it comes to dog stuff, he knows. So what have you guys been doing? Frank?
I've been doing Master National work for about 3 weeks solid right now.
What's the number?
1,220 dogs have entered for this year.
Going to Georgia, right?
1,220 dogs going to Thomasville, Georgia, largest performance event in the history of the American Kennel Club.
That's amazing. Over how many days?
It'll be 10 days.
10 days. That's a furniture place, isn't it? I mean, Thomasville, Georgia.
Thomasville, that among other things, but it's also a dog mecca.
It is a dog mecca, yeah. So that many dogs from all over, and Frank puts out the book. It is called the book, you know. It costs
we call it a catalog, but it's
a catalog.
It's a book.
It weighs about a pound. No, it doesn't. That's a lot of dogs. And you'll be. When is the dates on it now again, Frank?
You'll be leaving. Starts on October 27th.
Okay, all right.
And it'll run 10 days.
Okay. And Frank, John, what have you been doing?
Man, September's coming in hot, Larry, and that means for me, I've got stuff going on all over the place. DUTV, we're starting out in Texas, then Saskatchewan, Canada for 2 episodes, and Prince Edward Island.
Prince Edward Island?
Yep, Prince Edward Island. A good friend of mine up there is a tremendous hunter. And
what's the capital of Prince Edward Island?
Island Town? I don't
know. No, it's not Island Town. I think it's Charlottesville.
Is it? Yeah, he lives close to there. That's and then with DU Nation, I think I've got 9 different filmings going on in September.
Huh. So we probably won't see you for
I'm busy.
a while.
Well, that's right. I'm leaving for Texas on the 31st of this month, and I won't be back till like the 21st of September.
Not October, but
September.
Okay. And of course, John, with his job as a senior communications specialist for Ducks Unlimited, which when you left Avery, you went to this position, right?
That's correct. So in October of this year, it'll be 5 years at DU.
Wow, 5 years. And Frank has been retired and has nothing to do.
Except Master National.
Except Master National.
It just doesn't. Master National almost full-time job. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Well, it's But so, how many dogs? How's your dogs doing?
My dogs are okay.
Dogs here, huh?
They're okay. We kind of chill out during the heat of the summer.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. What's the pattern here? You guys
early in the morning.
I know Buster, and you got
Goose and Hershey.
So, is your dog still in Little Rock, or is it?
Actually, he's back with me. So he's been with me for since the beginning of August.
So what do you do? What do you do when you deal? Because we got a little cool spell, and now we're coming back to hot again next week, which is August. We ought to, you know. So what do you do for us? Early and late. I know Frank has. You have to,
right. Early is really good.
Late,
yeah, late is so humid, and most time you can't do a lot. You just got to catch it right at first light, and do what you can with dogs. And then, he's going to go with me to Texas. So
he is going to go with you to Texas.
So I'm going to put him on white-winged doves and teal. He'll pick up a bunch of teal while he's there.
Yeah, and then his competition's over really for you.
Up north, they're running up north if you want, but I don't go up north.
Okay, so
they'll start.
But the entries have closed. I mean,
entries closed last Friday.
Okay, all right. So you got over 1,200.
1,220 dogs.
How do you handle 1,220 dogs in 10 days?
You divide them up, and we're gonna have 9 flights of dogs.
You need to shoot something on that sometime.
18 judges.
Yeah,
and
18 judges.
18 judges from all across the country.
Now has your dogs qualified?
Yes.
Both of them?
Both of them.
Both of them have qualified. Okay.
So
your dog is that
he's
one of
young,
the goals?
So it will be. It could be. Probably a couple of years down the line.
Young,
he's not even 2 years old yet. So that's the plan, though. Would be eventually he would be at that level. Like I said, it'll probably take a couple of years.
So why is there more than 1,200 this year? You think because of location? Because it's
locations.
Yeah, because you've been in Oregon.
Last year was in Oregon. It's a pretty good hike for most folks to go out that way.
Hiking,
this year it's colder. It was actually it's the same club is co-hosting it with the Master National that co-hosted it 20 years ago.
In Thomasville?
In Thomasville, Georgia. So we're back where we were 20 years ago with that.
And that's you said it is a mecca. I mean, you think any book you pick up,
there are.
I don't know how that became. Maybe
a lot of mainly professional trainers, and then the amateurs have kind of migrated that way too. But it's a place where they winter.
Yeah.
When it's They right now they're up north, in Minnesota and Wisconsin and all that.
Yeah.
But they'll start coming back down, and then they winter in Thomasville, Georgia, and lots of grounds, lots of properties that have been set up and manicured and everything.
Lots
just
of birds
for dog training.
Lots of birds.
Oh,
we hope
we have an order for, I think it was 5,000 ducks.
5,000 ducks.
5,000 ducks from my bird supplier.
Well, Ducks Unlimited, 5 of those came from Ducks Unlimited out in their
Well,
ponds.
Those ducks aren't wild,
no,
Larry.
Aren't.
They're pen raised mallards, so.
Well, we're really, this show may be going to the dogs today because Johnny Mack, we're going to talk with him on the next segment, but dogs are very important to the big events you got coming up, aren't they, Johnny?
Oh, yes, sir. You talking about in November when we have the youth hunt?
Yes.
And the kids get to see bird dogs.
Yes.
Which so many of them haven't.
That's right.
Or even their parents. But they get to see bird dogs in the field working.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk to Johnny Mack when we come back after this first break about this big event that they have every year. It's the Bustin' Clay. I love the name of it, the Bustin' Clays for quail. And it is maybe your biggest event, Johnny?
That's our major fundraiser every year is this sporting clay shoot.
And when he says fundraiser, Joe, I mean
it's fun.
Listen to this. We're going to come right back. One firearm will be given away per 30 shooters. Winners will be drawn. I like that. You might hit one target and you get drawn.
There you go.
It's like the no fish pot, whatever it might be. All right, let's take a break. Come back. Johnny McFarland's in the studio. Frank Park and John Gordon on Outdoors with Larry Ray.